Today we're ranking the 1-mana creatures on a tier list. Hopefully as many as possible, maybe all of them. We're going to start off with the Grim Lavamancer. See, back in my day, we had to use resources from other areas of the game in order to deal damage to other creatures. Because Grim Lavamancer, for a single red, is a 1/1 creature, but that's not the benefit of the thing because it's like Grim Lavamancer is a human wizard that for a red and you could tap, exile 2 cards from your graveyard, and Grim Lavamancer deals 2 damage to any target. That 2 damage was not nothing. Alright, 2 damage, you start filling up your graveyard, you smack down every little stupid creature on the board, also deals damage to the face, was a great staple in basically any red-based control-ish deck, tempo deck, and also burn. And now today, it doesn't see any play. Can you believe that this card used to be like $20 or $30 and now it's 12 cents? Because oh man, the times have changed. These days, if you want to deal damage, I mean, the creature just has to enter the battlefield. Like Fury or Bowmaster, you don't have to go work for your mana. So you don't have to work for your damage. So anyway, this card, whoops, what have I done? This card is horrendous. It's not even A tier anymore, even if I could give it A tier. Oh, where's my tier list? My tier list is not here. Uh-oh. Hold on, give me a second. Gotta, Control-Alt-Delete something. Well, see, here's the thing. Grim Lavamancer used to be an amazing card back in the day. An amazing card. People weren't so aggressive on killing the creatures. 1 toughness creatures could roam free as a bird. On top of that, creatures were tiny back then. You know, trying to snipe off something for 2 damage, it worked very well. These days, the creatures are big and chunky, less thing to damage. Also, just filling your graveyard and dealing 2 damage at a time, a little slow for this game. For all formats. All right, we're back. Okay, we got our tier list. We got our tier list. I'm happy. And Grim Lavamancer, not the worst thing in the world, but I'm definitely not giving it A tier treatment. Could have been an S tier card if you asked me this 10 years ago, but well, it's not 10 years ago anymore. It's today, and today is not a good day for the Grim Lavamancer anymore. All right, let's start off with a super chat coming from Rated Lex. Thank you so much for your super chat. The Mountain Goat. We're already starting with the trolling. So some people want to know my opinion about Mountain Goat. Mountain Goat, 1 red, 1/1. It's got Mountain Walk. Whoop. That's right, you never know when you need that Mountain Walk. Is this so bad? You know, it's not like there's no downside to playing this card. I just don't know if there's anything good about it. I'm tentatively gonna put in the D tier. I might put it in the C tier if we find something worse than Mountain Goat. Like 1 mana, like, I don't know, blow you up or something. Tracer with Alibaba. You can also purchase things from Alibaba. But we're not rating the store. We're rating Alibaba, the red 1/1 with pay a red, tap, target wall. Probably was good back in the day. These days, I don't even know if there's a wall worth tapping. And if anyone plays a wall, it's gonna be like Wall of Denial. It has like hexproof. Can't touch this. Alibaba, your services aren't needed anymore. You're going straight to the D tier. D tier for don't need ya. Next up, we got Gutshot is not a creature. It's 1 mana red creatures today. Okay, so next up, let's go Cosmic Seeds with the Soldier of Fortune. We are just filling it. We're going straight to the D tier today. We got red 1/1. It's got the ability, pay a red, tap. Target player shuffles their library, shuffle away, because what's going to come back on top after that, who knows? Now here's the downside to Soldier of Fortune. This is an activated ability. You have to wait until next turn to have the effect. So not only is it pretty crappy, it's also, you can't even activate it immediately. Alright, Soldier of Fortune. You look like something out of a movie. I don't know which one, but some movie. D tier. Completely useless. Okay, next super chat we've got from Steven Hope. What do you got for us? The Dragon Master outright. Okay, this is a bit of a janky card, but it's not terrible. It's a red 1/1 human shaman. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 6 or more lands, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. Now, getting to 6 lands is not impossible, especially if you build your deck around it. And this is a cumulative effect. Well, not like every turn you're going to get a red dragon. That's good for your protection. Alternatively, you can play this on the earlier turns of the game. You don't need to have it out immediately. If your opponent wants to burn a removal spell on this thing, by all means, go do it. It was literally a 1/1 human that wasn't doing anything. Only going to start to become active once you have the 6 or more lands in play. I like it. It is not the worst in the world. It's a bit janky, but it's also a little bit useful. B tier. Going to B tier. It could be more bad. B tier. Okay, next up we got, let's look at the Bot Master Goblin Balloon Brigade. I have a feeling we're going to go through tons of cards today. Goblin Balloon, there we go. It's a red 1/1 for a red. Goblin Balloon Brigade gains flying until end of turn. Not a natural fly around there. What are they? What is the balloon? Is it a goblin or it's a lizard? They inflated a lizard with helium. Not a good idea. That lizard could blow at any moment. I guess it's magic. Grant this lizard protection from explosion. Anyway, this is terrible. It's a 1/1 that you can incidentally gain flying. You can fly over to the Soldier of Fortune. Maybe your fortunes will change over there. Next super chat coming straight from Platonic Liquid. Wonder what Nikachu's opinion on Vexing Devil is. It is the most overrated card in all. Maybe not the most overrated card. It's a pretty overrated card in beginner Magic the Gathering, that's for sure. The red 4/3 enters the battlefield. An opponent may have it deal 4 damage to them. If a player does, sacrifice Vexing Devil. So here's the problem. If they let it live, you didn't deal any damage. And they probably have a removal spell for it. Maybe they'll use Lightning Bolt. Maybe they'll use Fatal Push. If they take the 4 damage, that means they couldn't deal with it. You don't want to give your opponents a choice. It's always dicey giving your opponent the choice of what they want to do because they'll choose the choice that benefits them the most. That being said, this isn't Goblin Balloon Brigade, quality. And also, it's really bad in Commander. So we'll give it the C tier. It is, I've seen worse. I don't like it. It is a huge trap. It's still a huge trap. You know what? It's at $2. We're doing good because, like 2 years ago, before I talked so much smack about Vexing Devil, I swear it was at $5. They didn't even reprint it that much. All right, next up, let's look at, okay, the stupid monkey, Ragavan. The Nimbus. Ragavan sort of warps this tier list because there's absolutely nothing that even comes close to this card. This is like above. It's actually in contention for the best 1-drop in the history of the game. It's a red 2/1 monkey pirate. Deals combat damage to a player. You get a treasure token, which is easy enough to produce. Or you want to kill it with sweepers? Well, you know what? You can dash this in play for a red 1 generic and still get the effect. Now, not only do you get the treasure token when you connect with this damn thing, you also exile the top card of your opponent's library. You can cast it! So it's like card advantage as well. This thing's already banned in a ton of formats, Legacy and Historic. May not get banned in Modern. Modern has a lot of removal. This is a fantastic card even in Commander. Just attack this random person on the board and you get treasure. What a and that's the thing, treasures are Lotus Petals. Lotus Petals, I'll show you how powerful Lotus Petal is. I'm going to show you how powerful Lotus Petal is. This is restricted in Vintage. That's how powerful Lotus Petal is. That means you can only play 1, because playing more than 1 in a deck is busted. This is the Lotus Petal maker. It's just Lotus Petal just rebranded as treasures. So anyway, yes, S tier. Supreme S tier. And everything else I put in S tier is just going to look and feel weird because it's right next to this. Like, nothing is going to come to close to the power level of Ragavan. Never going to happen. Well, here's a fun, this is a favorite of mine. The Dwarven Pony. There's only 1 pony card, and they errated it to a horse. Very disappointed. The red 1/1 pony It's a red 1 generic tap. Target dwarf gains Mountain Walk until end of turn. Yes, it does. You get the little dwarven pony and their dwarven owner. D tier! Completely useless. I might have to expand the D tier all the way into the C tier. I don't know. We're going to wait and see what happens. We got Chow's at the Phoenix Chick. Phoenix. I never heard of this one. Oh, it's a little chickling. Okay, we have a red was 1/1. Flying haste, can't block. That's okay, phoenixes aren't meant for blocking. When you attack with 3 or more creatures, you may pay double red. If you do, return Phoenix Chick from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking with a +1/+1 counter on it. Interesting. So it has, so we're already above Goblin Balloon Brigade. We don't have to activate the ability. Naturally has flying, has haste, can come back. Already superior. Just can't block, but doesn't, that's right. The chick is not meant for blocking. This chick was meant for, I don't know, stomping. I like it a little bit. I'm gonna give it the B tier. It keeps coming back. It comes back as a 2/2 creature. You have enough creatures in play, you can't get this. This side chick won't be gone. Always will be there for you. Okay, next up we have a super chat from Alpha Nerd. Thank you very much for the super chat. The Goblin Champion. Goblin Champion is a red 0/1 haste with Exalted. Goblin Warrior. Useless. Actually, not that useless. I don't like that. Wait, it's not even a full power. How do you have Exalted and you don't even deal any damage for anything? Is Chick pretty strong in Standard? I don't doubt it. Like, it looks like a pretty lethal card. Anyway, Goblin Champion, not a particularly interesting card. Is it D tier worthy? I think it's D tier worthy. Goblins don't attack alone. Goblins attack in an army, which means the Exalted is like that much more worse. You might, yeah, it's just gonna be a 0/1 goblin in the long run. 0/1 goblins for forever. All right, next up we got the Walking Dead with Goblin Lackey. Ooh, now we're talking. Okay, now we're getting spicy around here. The red 1/1, when it deals combat damage to a player, may put a permanent card from your, a goblin permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield, and probably it's gonna be Muxus. And it's gonna destroy everybody. That's like, it's hard to describe what that effect is. It's like sometimes having 2 Black Lotuses, like put 2 Black Lotuses into play, sack your Lotuses, and the next creature you play is uncounterable, because that's effectively what Goblin Lackey is. These days you can put, I mean, anywhere. I would say Muxus is the most dangerous, but it could be some sort of Goblin Matron to go get the Muxus to destroy you next turn. Goblin Lackey is definitely one of the more powerful cards in Magic. You can just kill it, but the downside to letting it get through is so devastating. I think that is an S tier card. Very, very, very strong. To be respected. Super respect. It's almost in demand to kill as there is Ragavan. Very, very similar. And next super chat we got from Bryce. Thank you so much. The Fire Drinker Satyr. This is like a 2/1 that it gets dealt damage. It deals damage to you, I think. Red 2/1 Satyr Shaman. Whenever Fire Drinker Satyr is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to you. Well, I don't like the sound of that. Red 1 generic. It gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and still deals damage to you. 1 damage. This card's bringing more pain than anything else. Now, the upside, it is a 2/1 creature for 1 mana. You can buff it. If you're aggressive enough of a red deck, then you probably don't care. Looks absolutely terrible in any 99 card format. So yeah, not in love with this card. I remember it was a standard. I wouldn't even call it a standard all-star. It was a standard playable at the time. Playable. We'll let you sit right here with the old Vexing Devil. Probably accurate. Good morning there, Bonovsky. Okay, next up, how about, we got one from Paul Rogg. Boros Recruit. Boros Recruit in, okay, I'll let this slide. Okay, we have a Boros hybrid for a 1/1 with first strike. Lame. It is 2 colors if that's mandatory. Can go in a soldier deck. It can go in a soldier deck. D tier. Very uninteresting. Steve Cooper with the Soul Scar Mage. Now, this is a pretty damn good card. It's a red 1/2 with Prowess, which is what a lot of burn decks love, or any sort of red-based deck that is flinging a lot of damage. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to a creature an opponent controls, put that many -1/-1 counters on that creature instead. So it's not even important to kill the creature. You can just, like, chop its legs off. If it's like a 3/4 creature, use some sort of bolt-like effect to turn it into a 0/1. And then if it blocked the Soul Scar Mage, it will lose in combat, because every spell you play makes the Soul Scar Mage like a 2/3, then a 3/4, then a 4/5. Very playable. Tier 1 card, in my opinion. Gets out on turn 1, can deal tons of damage. I hate Soul Scar Mage personally. Creature decks hate this card. Also, I think control decks also hate this card. I don't know if it's strong enough for S tier, because you do need enough spells in your hand to rattle out to make it good, but I would say this is very close between A tier and S tier. Very, very close. The only downside of this card, no haste, so your opponent has a full turn to kill it before it deals any damage whatsoever. Toads with Curd Ape. I think I see a lot of people talking about Curd Ape. Curd Ape was good, great back in the day, because that was the only good 1-drop for red back in the day. Red 1/1, Curd Ape gets a +1/+2 as long as you control a forest. A 2/3 for 1 mana. In this economy, no way. No, 2/3s can go over here. It's important to note that Curd Ape completely outclasses the Mountain Goat, the Soldier of Fortune, the Dwarven Pony, so clearly in C tier, clearly. Okay, we got, we just did Soul Scar Mage. Joel with the Goblin Chirurgeon. Something. Hopefully this is good enough. Chirurgeon? Okay, red 0/2. Sack a Goblin. Regenerate target creature. Interesting effect. Okay, we have a sack outlet for our single red mana. It's a 0/2, so it can defend itself against any 1-mana pingers. Perhaps goblins are good for something after all. Yeah, flinging to an infinite combo. All right, just the fact that this is a 0-mana sack outlet, I think, gives it the ability to be in the B tier. The ability sucks. So it'd be nice if it was just a little bit more useful, but just as a sack outlet alone, because not a lot of things let you sack for nothing. All right? So if you have a combo that requires sacking creatures, Goblin Chirurgeon is right there for you. We got Turiat with the Blazing Root Walla. Oh my good, you would not think this, but this card is actually sort of broken. So it's a red 1/1, pay a red, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn, activate only once each turn, but it has madness for a 0. So you have any card that says draw cards, discard cards. When you discard this card, you can alternatively just pay nothing. That's a good price. All right, free is a good price. You can't argue with that. Pay 0, no money down. And you got a 1/1 creature. So it offsets any of the cards that say you have to discard a card. And it's not bad. It's effectively a 3/1 creature for 1 mana. We're like, not 1 mana, but like you do have to sink a red into it every turn. But it's pretty good. Okay, this is a very good card. The only problem is that it's not flexible. You can't put it in any deck. It's got to be something with a lot of discarding. And at that point, it's also very awkward. But that's an A tier type of quality card. We got a super chat here from Alpha Nerd. Thank you so much. The Flamekin Brawler. Sometimes, yeah, so this is it's actually not super similar to the Blazing Root Waller, but it's got some similarities. We got a red 0/2 with Fire Breathing. For a red, gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Not in love with this card, to be honest. I guess with infinite mana, you could kill someone. How many cards have Fire Breathing for 1 mana? Maybe not a lot. You know, usually if you want Fire Breathing, you're going to get that on a 4, 5, 6 mana card. So getting that on a 1 mana card, interesting. And with infinite mana, you could kill somebody. On the other hand, if you don't have infinite mana, you are literally doing nothing. You know, it's a huge mana sink. It has 0 power. So if you want to attack for anything, you're going to have to waste your mana. But on earlier turns of the game, you don't want to be wasting your mana on attacking. You want to be able to cast more cards to go straight to the face. Enable your maybe infinite combo. So for the infinite mana combo potential and the one-shot kills, I'll put in the B tier. Next up, Valerio is trying to get Dragon Rage Channeler online. Dragon Rage Channeler. The card that basically has displaced the Delver of Secrets. So strong, they neutered it for alchemy. We'll compare, actually. We're going to start off with the red 1/1. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Surveil 1, which is also broken by itself, filling your graveyard. Look at the top card of your library. You can put it into your graveyard. And it's got Delirium, which is the easiest thing to pull off for this damn deck, or this card, for any deck that plays it. As long as there are 4 or more other card types in your graveyard, it gets +2/+2 and has flying. Oh, it has attack each turn if able. Wow, big downside. As if these decks are looking to block. Okay, so this is so strong. It took over... It's taking over Legacy. It's taking over Modern. What does this side say? Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Surveil 1. As long as there are 4 more card types among cards in your... Oh, it's whenever you... I think it's the same thing. Whenever there are 4 more cards among card types... Oh, it gets +2/+0. Has flying attacks. Okay, so they neutered the toughness. Not so big anymore. You can get sniped off by the damn Bowmasters. Dragon Rage Chandler. Well, that's how broken this card is. They had to nerf it. This was a nerfable card. And the Surveil is just busted. I mean, you cast something. Oh, you find a land, dump it into the graveyard. Whenever this thing lives long enough, my opponent never runs out of gas, which is very frustrating. This is an S tier level card. It's some people even say this is more dangerous than Ragabond. Some people. All right, I might even be one of those people. I might even be. Okay, next, let's look at Henrik's Footlight Fiend. These cards I've never heard of. If I've never heard of it, I can smell it's going straight to the D tier. Okay, we got a Rakdos 1/1. It deals when it dies, deals 1 damage to any target. It's almost like, what is it called? It's almost like that goblin that you could sack to deal 1 damage to anything. Situational. Ugh. When am I even taking a picture here of this leg? The Footlight Fiend. Or the Footlit Fiend. I guess it's a C tier worthy card. No, forget it. It's going straight to D tier. You need to sack this thing for it to do anything. Get out of here. It's as bad as it looks. Next super chat we got from Alpha Nerd. Thank you very much. The Flamekin Harbinger. Oh. Flamekin Harbinger. 1 red mana for a 1/1. Enters the battlefield. You can search your library for an elemental card. Reveal it, shuffle your library, put that card on top. You know, if you asked me in my opinion of this card maybe 5 years ago, I said, well, this is straight trash. Who cares about this? But nowadays, you can get Grief, you can get Subtlety, Fury, Solitude, Endurance. If you're a 4-color deck, you can get anything that you want. Especially Solitude and Fury is probably the most backbreaking of all of them. So this is now a 1-mana tutor for the Elemental Kindred decks. Really, really strong. Now, you do have to be specifically only in elementals in order to make it work. So I will give this an A tier worthy honorarium. Or is it honorary A tier? We got Asteroid Yeti. Look at that. As in the Avatar, a Yeti on an asteroid. The Legion Loyalists. This is... I wish this card saw a little bit more play. Unfortunately, it's got 1 toughness, so it's a bit of a tough sell. But this is a great goblin card. It's a red 1/1 with haste with Battalion, which means if you attack with 2 other creatures and the Legion Loyalist, creatures you control have first strike and trample, which is weird. And until end of turn, they can't be blocked by creature tokens. So if your opponent has this massive board of spirit tokens or human tokens or whatever, dinosaur tokens, they can't block, which is weird. But then, you know, them small goblins, they can weave in and out of blockers like nothing. And the first strike is also quite convenient because if you have something like Goblin, what's the Goblin called? The one that has protection from blue, you attack with, it gets +2/+0 for each Goblin that you control. Makes that impossible to block, and also even if you block, it doesn't matter because they have trample anyway. So really hard to block your goblins. If you block, they get trample, and you can't be blocked by tokens. I think this is a very, very strong goblin for any goblin player. Very hard to give it exactly A tier, but I think it's somewhere I would say it's B+. It's either B+ or A-. Very, very strong. Let's see. Yeah, I think I can put it around B tier. It's not too bad. Any goblin players, if you think it's A, well, I don't blame you. King Ginger. Soulscar Mage. We did that one. It's right there. It's right there, King Ginger. It is A tier. Super strong card. We're going to donate your super chat to The Waking Dead of Voldaren Epicure. Ooh. That is actually a well-played card right now, right? Voldaren Epicure. The red 1/1 enters the battlefield. It deals 1 damage to each opponent, so you get value immediately. You pick them off for 1 damage at a time. Also, when it enters the battlefield, you create a blood token. This might be valuable if you're playing a deck where artifacts matter, or if you're even in a red-based deck and you need to filter some stupid lands for some gas, because the blood tokens are pay 1, tap, discard a card, and draw a card. Is a huge, heavily played card in Pauper, but that's about it. Don't think it sees a whole lot of play outside of that. If you're playing a vampire deck with red, it's not too bad. So I think it's got some playability to it, but I do think it could be a little bit better. It only sees great play in one format, so I'm going to give it the B tier. Your friendly neighborhood idiot. We got the Rabbit Bat. Let's go look at Rabbit Battery. We got, ooh, it's Equipment Rabbit. Oh yeah, I love this picture. The red 1/1 with haste. And also, it's an equipment. Equipped creature can have +1/+1 in haste. And has got reconfigure. Oh, it's so cute. This is actually not bad. You know what? I think you can't really look at this for the creature itself. You got to look at it for the reconfigure. Because you can give every additional creature that you put onto the battlefield haste. That might be very important in like a red-green stompy deck. I think I can give this... I sort of want to give this B tier. I don't even know if this sees any play anywhere. But I think this is a B tier worthy card. So you go like turn 1, smack your opponent for 1 damage. It's not great, not bad. But if your curve is high enough, you just give all those creatures haste afterwards. Pretty useless if you can't give big creatures haste though. Some 124C with the Rock Hatchling. Yet it was the Energizer Bunny. It keeps going on and on. It keeps going. It should have like some sort of battery that's parodies the Energizer battery. Okay, Rock Hatchling. What is a rock? Is that like a bird type? We got a red 0/1. Comes into play. Put 4 shell counters on it. Time is ticking. Okay, during your upkeep, remove a shell counter. And as long as Rock Hatchling has no shell counters on it, it gets +3/+2 until end of turn. This card is sad as hell. This is literally the crappiest card we've seen all day. It won't even do... It's literally a 0/1 that won't even do anything for, what, 4 turns? Soldier of Fortune can get online by next turn. At least a 1-power creature by turn 1. Wow, this is bad. I've seen bad magic cards before, but this is just plain bad. You have to get rid of these damn counters on it. Has no shell counters on it. Damn shell, keeping it at bay. We got another super chat coming from straight from Alpha Nerd with the Wayward Guide Beast. Okay, I need more stuff. Wayward Guide. There we go. It's a red 2/2 trample haste. When it deals combat damage to a player, return a land you control to its owner's hand. This is a little bit janky, but this can enable landfall. It's not very good to have early in the game, though, because you go red 2/2, deal damage, and you gotta, like, bounce your lands back to your hand. Well, that's not great. So, not great, not too bad. Actually, do you know what? I think it's more bad than great. I don't know if this actually saw any play anywhere. Put in the C tier. 1-mana 2/2 haste. You can't ignore that. But you also can't ignore the fact that you're bouncing your damn lands back to your hand. The fortunate thing about red, though, is that it doesn't need a whole lot of mana. So if you're up to 3 mana, then, like, who cares? Put the Wayward Beast in play. Might even filter some mana, actually. Maybe there's some benefit. So let's say you're stuck at 2 lands. You tap out to play a burn spell. You attack with your Wayward Guide Beast. You deal damage. Return a land back to your hand. Reset it. That's like resetting your mana. It's like resetting your mana. You know what? For that, I'm putting it to B tier. I forgot that you can actually turn your lands back online in a deck that's where you're red and super tight on mana. Okay, you heard the music. Oh, God. What's going on here? We got to get to our sponsor. FusionGamingOnline.com. The sponsor as we have every single day. All right, we got FusionGamingOnline.com. Ooh, deal of the week this week. Save 25% off all accessories. Meanwhile, you can also get your Lost Caverns of Ixalan cards, and also all your favorite 1-mana red drop creatures that you have seen on today's show. And don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu at checkout to get all those red 1-mana creatures for 5% off. And don't forget to also check out Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Rent all the 1-mana creatures in the entire. You don't need all the red mana creatures in your library. In your collection, when you are just renting them all one at a time to test out the best 1-mana red creatures for your deck in your format. You can support the channel renting on Magic Online using Mana Traders, using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_R4Z. Looks like Raz. I like it. Okay, back to these crazy, sometimes great, sometimes useless 1-drops. Okay, let's redeem. King Ginger donated earlier, so we'll look at Skirk Prospector. This is undoubtedly one of the most busted, like, creature-based creatures of all time. Is a red 1/1. You sack a goblin, and you get a red mana. You know those goblin decks, they play with a lot of tokens. And you just sack all those damn things for tons of mana. Put, like, 3 drops, 4 drops, 5 drops into play. Skirk Prospector is I think the best ramper of all rampers. It's like better, in a lot of ways it's even better than elves, because you could set up a board full of goblins, slam down the Skirk Prospector, they can't respond to it. Like, you try to kill the Skirk Prospector, they just start sacking goblins like crazy in response, and they play the big goblin, the big bad daddy. Daddy is Muxus around here. Skirk Prospector, amazing card. A little narrow, but very amazing card. Goes in A tier. You could argue S tier. If you're a commander player, I think this is, you could weigh this completely to S tier. Okay, we got Larry Law with the Warbreak Trumpeter. Warbreak Trumpet. Is a red 1/1 morph for red and X, double X. When Warbreak Trumpeter is turned face up, put X 1/1 red goblin creature tokens into play. I think in general this card sucks, but if you have infinite mana, you can put infinite creatures in play. Because you just morph it for 3, and then morph it back up for an insane number of goblins. So it is a good infinite mana sink. I will give that. Just for the infinite mana sink, I'm going to give it B tier. Give something for infinite mana. Give something your infinite mana to do. Metsye with Goblin Fire Slinger. Goblin Fire Slinger. They slinging them fire. Red 1/1. Is this an honorary goblin show or something? Tap Goblin Fire Slinger deals 1 damage to target player. That's it? I know where you belong, Goblin Fire Slinger. That is not very impressive. You can hang out with Kurdape down here. Yeah, that's right. Kurdape also used to deal 1 to 2 damage at a time to target player, but they had to do it the hard way. If you have infinite mana, you might as well play Empty the Warrens. Well, that's another card you could... Here's the thing. Like, let's say you're a commander player, and you have means of getting infinite mana. You don't want just 1 card in your deck to use the infinite mana on. You want several cards. You want several payoffs. This is just another way to get the payoff. Also, I don't think Empty the Warrens works near... Well, I mean, it can work in a goblin deck. I've seen it happen, but it's hard to rattle out a bunch of spells on 1 turn with that goblin deck. The King! Eduardo. We got Branded Brawlers. Brawling it up. A red 2/2. Can't attack if defending player controls an untapped land. Well, that's sad as hell. Branded Brawlers can't block if you control an untapped land. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. This is sad as hell. D tier it goes. Very, very D tier. This might actually be even worse than the other cards. We got a super chat from Owen. It is Goblin Welder. This is a wild card because it's a tutor. It's a red 1/1 Goblin Artificer. Tap. Oh no, this is not the tutor. I was thinking the other one. Okay, tap. Choose target artifact. Artifact a player controls and target artifact in the player's graveyard. If both targets are still legal as this ability resolves, that player simultaneously sacrifices the artifact and returns the artifact card to the battlefield. So this can work in two ways. Now, the point of this card is to tutor out or get an artifact card into your graveyard and then do a switcheroo between an artifact card in play and the graveyard, whether it be Painter Servant, whether it be like there is a combo deck between Painter Servant and Grindstone. Yeah, it's Grindstone. So you gamble into a Grindstone or Painter Servant. It can go to the graveyard. You don't care because you're going to do a switcheroo with Goblin Welder. If your opponent has artifacts that disrupt your combo, well, if they have an artifact in the graveyard, you can switch that artifact with the artifact that's being a pain for you in play. So it can mess with the opponent's stuff, and it also is a combo enabler. However, I could have sworn it tutored. No, this one does not. This is an S tier quality card. So if you destroy the artifact in play, whatever it is, you just keep getting it back. You keep trying over and over and over again. So Goblin Welder, very, very strong. Amazing card. Rainer! What do you got, Rainer? You've got the Frostling? Is that a red card? Frost. What does Frost and red have to do with each other? Oh, it looks almost like a snow card, except it's not. We got a red 1/1 Spirit. Sacrifice Frostling. It deals 1 damage to target creature. It's literally Mog Fanatic, but a crappier version of it. Alrighty then. I'll give you... You know what? You can sack it, though. You don't have to wait for it to die. Sack it. Deals 1 damage to target creature. Oh, it's only target creature. C tier it is. It's just crap. It's not good crap, but it's crap. Next super chat coming from Pacers Fan Forever. Goblin Guide. Goblin Guide is a deceptively great card for reasons that people don't even know. It's a red 2/2 with haste, which there are very, very, very few cards in the game like that. Now, it has a downside, though, in quotes. When Goblin Guide attacks, defending player reveals the top card of their library. If it's a land, they can put it into their hand. So this could be card advantage for your opponent, which, for the most part, is not really that big of a deal, because you intend on killing your opponent by turn 4. So, like, the lands that they draw, not really relevant, because you don't intend on going into the late game if you're the red player, if you're a burn deck. So this card is very good for those burn decks. Now, I actually think that this is an upside, not a downside, because every single turn, the red player then learns what's in your hand. If you reveal a creature on top, if you reveal creature, instant, sorcery, planeswalker, that's information they use against you. I actually think this is a feature, not a bug for Goblin Guide, which adds to its power. So, yeah, it is still a bit of a narrow card. Not many decks can make use of it. I will give it... I guess I have to give it S tier. It is just that good. It's been a burn staple for so long. A bit narrow, very close to being A tier, but I don't really want to put Goblin Guide with the rest of these cards down over here. Ooh, the Gorilla Shaman by Dinglebag. Gorilla Shaman, red 1/1, pay 1, double X, destroy target non-creature artifact with mana value X. Very good, I think, in Commander, also amazing in Cube. Any formats where there's a lot of artifacts around, this card is an absolute house. I think it's actually A tier worthy. Needs to be in an artifact-heavy metagame, but like in Commander, you're like just gonna blow up. It's basically, for 1 mana, destroy target non-creature artifact with mana value of X. So you can hit all the 0 drops like Mana Crypt, Treasures, stuff like that. Or for 3 mana, you can blow up their Soul Ring. I think 3 mana, right? Mana value X, yeah. You blow up the Soul Ring. All right, next super chat we've got from Pacers Fan Forever. Goblin Guide. Oh, we did that one. Sorry. Swift Spear. I'll give you another super chat sound effect for that. Monastery Swift Spear. Now, unlike... I want to see the original one. Unlike Soulscar Mage, this is a prowess creature with haste. Red 1/2 haster. I can't believe this is common. I actually think this should be a rare. This was one of the most busted uncommons of all time. In one-on-one formats, this thing is just ridiculous. It's so hard to block. It's already dealing damage. And if you try to block it, well, Probably you're not allowed to. They've burned the creature down already. It's been a format staple in not only the burn-based decks, but also Delver-like decks, Tempo decks, Death Shadow decks. Just ridiculous. Probably the only format it doesn't see a whole lot of play is Commander. But this is absolutely S-tier worthy. Very, very strong. Deals tons of damage. You just play like Thoughtseize on your turn and Removal on your turn and just get in for... It's basically like a 1-mana 3/4 usually. That could get even bigger than that depending on how much mana there is. Have you ever seen this card combined with Lava Dart? It's broken, alright? It's just broken. I hate it. Let's get... Do we get one from Tracy? Rosnacht? Rosnacht. Heir. I have no idea what the hell this is. Heir of Roga! Okay, we have red 0/1 with Battle Cry. Whenever this creature attacks, each other attacking creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It's like Signal Pass, okay. And it's got Heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets the Rosnacht, create a 0/1 red Cobalt creature token named Cobalts of Care Keep. I don't like it. It's okay, though. Like, the Battle Cry is something good. If you have a very token-based deck, like, the Heroic thing looks completely useless. But Battle Cry is not. It's effectively like a Lord. Although this card is very easy to block. I'm gonna put in B tier. I think this is not bad in, like, even a Goblins deck. I don't think you want to put in a Cobalt deck. You just want to put it in a tokens or go wide deck. I think that is completely fine. Alright, who else? We got, she was scary in Standard. Which one? You mean the Kobold? Oh, you mean, Swift Spear? Swift Spear was scary in every format. Okay, next up, we've got King Ginger with Minion of the Mighty. We got a red 0/1 with Men. How many 0/1s are there out there? Pact Tactics. Whenever Minion of the Mighty attacks, if you attacked with a creature's with total power 6 or greater this combat, you may put a dragon card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. So if you attack with creatures total power 6 or greater. I actually don't know the upside to this card. I've never seen it really in play. Why would you be playing like a low to the ground deck with dragons at the same time? Makes no sense. Oh, Swift Spear is it in Standard now? Oh my god, that's completely broken. Oh yeah, she's been downgraded, hasn't she? Okay, anyway, what to make of this card? I have no idea. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's good either. It's a 0/1 with Menace, but it doesn't even attack for anything. That's like a walking contradiction. You can't block me. Also, I don't attack for squat. You basically depend on everything else to attack. Okay, let's go with Christopher B's Aki Avalanchers. Is a red 1/1, sack a land. It gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Plays ability only once each turn. Well, I think that sucks. You can hang out with Vexing Devil and friends. I gotta sack my lands to get +2/+0 only once each turn. Now, if I can sack all my lands and buff this up that many times, now we're talking. Now we're cooking. But here we're not really cooking. Oh, it's oh, I thought they were playing in an ocean. They're actually pushing a snowball over a cliff here in the snow. Okay, next super chat we got from Emily, the Gold Hound. Great in Racksack or Storm. Really? We have a red 1/1 first strike with Menace, and also tap, sacrifice Groundhog, add 1 mana of any color. It is ramp. I've never seen this see play, though. I can tell it's not obvious. It's not crap. All right, it's a red 1/1. It's got first strike. It's hard to block, so you can get in for damage. And then at the right moment, you just sack this thing in order to get mana. I just don't. I've never. Am I wrong? It's like 8 cents. I'm gonna give it B tier. I don't know the competitive potential of this card. I've never seen or heard of it before. First strike Menace too. That's true. First strike Menace. I do really like that you can sack this thing. So by like turn 3, you can play 4 drops. Turn 4, you can play 5 drops. Really good. It does have that potential. It's like a mini Skirk Prospector in a way. The Abyssal. The Abyss Soul with Goblin Vandal. I just realized this is like an honorary Goblin show. Red 1/1, pay a red. Destroy target artifact. Defending player controls. Goblin Vandal deals no combat damage this turn. Usability only if Goblin Vandal is attacking and unblocked and only once each turn. Great card, actually. Artifacts are a huge part of the game, and the fact that this can interact with them is great. I'm not going to give it A tier because you do some assembly required. You do need to attack. Hold on. What's the Oracle text? So if it attacks, it isn't blocked. That's a lot to ask for. You can destroy artifacts. But I like it for that reason. Someone puts Bolus's Citadel in play. You got nothing you have no blockers. We'll send in the Goblin Vandal. Next super chat from the Waking Dead with Slag Fiend. For Arcanus? Oh, Arcanus in chat here. We have a red star. Slag Fiend's power and toughness are each equal to the number of artifact cards in all graveyards. Wow! Its power and toughness are equal to the artifact cards in all graveyards. It could potentially be a one-man. So if you use this in combination with what is that? That monkey that destroys all the artifacts. This could get big really fast. Still, they need to be in the graveyard. Very poor early on in the game. Will be a decent card later in the game. I could give it B tier. I see the potential. Markzilla with the Twin Blades. 2 blades are better than 1, that's for sure. This isn't even red. What is going on here? Disqualified. Get it out of here. Okay, Sensation Gorger from B Jackstraw. Not a 1 red drop. What is going on here? We got 2 disqualifieds in a row. I will buzz you people. Don't worry, everyone. If you've been on the show long enough, everyone's gotten disqualified at least once. What is this? The Spear? It's not Swift Spear. It's the Spear Spewer? I don't think I want to be around them at a party. Okay, we have a red 0/2 Goblin Warrior with Defender. Tap Spear deals 1 damage to each player. Okay, we got a pinger for 1 mana. I actually like that card. I would say this is like B tier plus. You have a 1 mana pinger every single turn, and there are a lot of ways that if you have like Torbrand out, it will deal 2 damage at a time. It's got Defender, but you're not attacking with this thing. It's a 0/2 anyway, so it's an easy B tier. Let's go with, who have you not gotten? I don't think I got one from Islarf yet. With Orcish Lumberjack. Is it A tier? Probably not. Red 1/1, tap Sack of Force, add 3. Oh, actually, yeah, I guess we could give this A tier. Sack of Force, add 3 mana of any combination of red or green to your mana pool. That's ramp. Effectively, it turns all your forests into like basically Black Lotus. Very strong card. It needs to be in the right deck. But in the right deck, they want it. All right, turn your forest into Black Lotus. A tier, the Lumberjack. Yeah, also note each player. Absolutely. Yeah, that pinger, not pinging one person, it ping everybody. All right, equal treatment around here. Oh, does that include you? 1 damage to each player. All right, it includes you. Because you like the no pain, no gain. We all go down together. It was good with Channel Fireball back in the day? I guess so. Safi with, Safifi with the Lightning Berserker. Did we do this one? No, we didn't actually. We got a red 1/1. Pay a red, gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and as dash. For the Fire Breathing alone, I can give it B tier. Fire Breathing on a 1 mana drop, you can dash it and play. They won't even see it coming. Infinite mana, infinite damage. Time to see how many buzzes we can get before it ends. Tarmogoyf? Come on, I know. I know what Tarmogoyf is. I don't even have to look it up. You think I was born yesterday? Krokar Games with the Zodiac Goat bad? Hold on. Zodiac Goat? Zodiac Goat, we got a red 1/1 with Mount Walk. This is basically Mountain Goat. You can sit proudly with Mountain Goat. Can we put them together? We're going to put them together. Here, Mountain Goat, be with your kind here. Fellow goats. The greatest of all time. Here, I'll stretch you out a little bit. Boop. Who else do we have here? Who didn't get something today? We did Dragon Master Outcast. It is right here in B tier. The King, the best Goblin Artisans. What is that? Goblin Artisans. It is a red 1/1 Goblin. Okay, I'm reading the Oracle text. Flip a coin. If you win the flip, draw a card. If you lose the flip, counter target artifact spell you control that isn't the target of an ability from another creature named Goblin Artisans. What? Flip a coin. If you win the flip, we draw a card. If you lose the flip, counter target artifact spell you control that isn't the target. Why would I activate this while an artifact spell is on the battlefield? So doesn't this just do nothing if I have no artifact? I've never heard of this card, but this ability feels very useless. Counter target artifact spell you control that isn't the target of an ability from another creature named Goblin Artisans. What the hell does that even mean? Instructions not clear. This doesn't make any sense to me. I can't even judge this. We counter the artifact spell I control that isn't the target of an ability from another creature named Goblin Artisans. I'm going to put it in D tier just because it doesn't make any sense. It's got the weirdest, like, workers thing. This is a real card. And these goblins have a 9/5 over there. I ain't reading all that yet. Well, I have to. It's my job. Okay, what do you got for us, Erland? Erland has Rotisserie Elemental. It is a red 1/1 elemental with menace. Deals combat damage to a player. Put a skewer counter on Rotisserie Elemental. Then you may sack it. If you do, exile the top X cards of your library. X is the number of skewer counters on Rotisserie Elemental. You can play those cards this turn. So basically, it's like, sort of you know what it reminds me of? It sort of reminds me of, there was this artifact. You attack, you exile a card underneath it, then you can pay a red, sack it, put all the cards in your hand. This is worse by all metrics. You attack. You have to deal damage to the opponent, and then when you want to exchange it for the cards, you better be empty-handed because you have to use those cards that very turn. It's not terrible, but I think it's just a clunkier version of. I can't remember what that artifact is called. Put in the C tier. Anyone know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's a bad Bomat Courier. And Bomat Courier would be an A tier. This is a significantly worse Bomat Courier, so it's going to courier itself down to the C tier. Do we do Soldier of Fortune? Absolutely. He's right over here. Right there in the D tier. Enjoy him while he's down there. Ryan C with the Bushwhacker. Oh! Okay, we got a red 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked for a single red, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. There's multiple decks that have been built around this card. It is probably one of the better. It's probably the best go wide creature in the game, because if you are going wide, it buffs everything up, and you can rattle off of multiple creatures and give them all haste, including itself. Because remember, everything gets haste, including itself. So it'll be a 2/1 creature. Everything else gets a buff. You attack in. Send them in. Send them to their death. This is a very easy A tier card. Many decks built around the Bushwhacker. Has always seen some play. Probably still sees play in Pauper. Can't remember though. We got F. More Lato with a Crone Crusader. What does this card do? A Crone Crusader. I think I just saw this the other day. It's a red 1/1 with Heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a Crone Crusader, create a 1/1 red soldier creature token with haste. This saw play in Standard. I don't know if this sees play anywhere else. Because there are red spells that are like, pay a red, target creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. And the fact that you get, like, creatures out of this means, like, even if you kill the Chrome Crusader in response to the pump spell, you got value out of it. Still, it's a heroic spell, and the whole deck is just going to be a little bit nonsense. I think I still have to give it C tier. If there is, like, a tier deck that plays this card, let me know. Maybe it's B tier worthy. Like, it saw standard play. That's the most I can do. That's the most I can say about this card. Orcish Librarian, because we know how much orcs love to read. They're such a smart creature. Okay, they're well read. We have a red 1 generic 1/1 orc. Pay red, tap. Oh, it's not even a 1-drop. Disqualified. 1 mana! Must be 1 mana around here. Zath! Goblin. We did Goblin Balloon Brigade. Okay, let's get... We'll do Canty's Goblin Swine Rider. What, they ride the pigs? They are. They're on top of a boar. Some people choose horses. They choose the pig. Okay, we have a red 1/1. If it's blocked, it deals 2 damage to each attacking creature. That's not good. And 2 damage to each blocking creature. So if we attack, we could get our whole board blown up. This is actually worse than anything. This is absolute crap. This, in theory, can kill all our goblins. Like, that's not good. This is actually this is worse than anything on the D tier list. And, like, what's the upside here? Like, it's still a 1/1 for 1 for crying out loud. There's no upside to the risk. Wait, Goblin Swine Raider is blocked. It deals 2 damage to each attacking creature, which you are the attacker. Yeah, this is terrible. Oh, hold on. Yeah, if it's blocked. It's not if it's blocked. Is it blocking? When it becomes blocked. No, this is terrible. Unbelievable. It's just a new form of bad I never heard of. We've heard bad on this show. This one's plain bad. Yeah, today's show, crap gore, 1 red mana. That's right. It kills itself. Well, that's what a lot of goblins do. For the Goblin King! Send themselves to their death. Okay, let's look at the Forge Devil from Christopher B. Baby Devlin. We have a red 1/1. Enters the battlefield, deals 1 damage to a target creature. I can get behind that. 1 damage to you. You can't really get behind that. C tier. I'm sure I don't know, like in a standard environment, this is probably okay, but... Because it deals like 2 damage or at least it guarantees at least 1 damage for being played. We got B Jackstraw with the Goblin Sledder. We got a red 1/1. Sack a goblin target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Could be a good combat trick. And also, again, we got a sack outlet. I can give this B tier for sure. You make the wrong block? I mean, in the right goblin deck, if you have like a super go wide strategy or, you know, something, for example, let's, what is it? Cranko. So you've Crankoed out a bunch of goblin tokens and you go wide to attack. The one creature that they don't block, you just sack everything to that thing and it's like 1 shot, 1 kill. It's going to be, they're going to feel it. You'll send that person straight to the Shadow Realm. We got Wusty with Gold Hound. Oh, we looked at Gold Hound. Let's look next. I think everyone's got a card at this point. At least for the people who are fighting for it. We'll get... Hermoda, Goblins of the Flarg? Well, we did our best, people. Okay, we have a red 1/1 Mountain Walk. And if you control a dwarf, sacrifice Goblin of the... What? Why are we sacking our creature? What happened here? When you control a dwarf, sacrifice Goblins of the Flarg. So basically, don't betray the goblins. I hate it. It's basically a mountain goat. And it's mountain goat territory. We got another super chat, though. We got from Platonic Liquid. Norn the Wary, so the EDH players get mad at you. Norn the Wary cannot be killed. Because it is a 2/1 human warrior, whenever a player plays a spell or a creature attacks, remove Norin the Wary from the game. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at end of turn. That means you have tons of blinking potential. Whenever you play anything, you remove it, comes back at end of turn for ETB effects. I think that is a very unique ability. I don't think the commander players will be upset at me if I give this S tier. A very good commander-like card. So good that it compensates for being a... It's actually seen some janky one-on-one play, but that's about it. Alright, that's it for Coffee and MTG today. Did you like our tier list? Was it a good list? We didn't even get through every single one drop because there's too many. It's almost like an honorary goblin day as well. And if you love Coffee and MTG, you gotta be here Monday to Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks to everyone who supports the channel. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or use Super Chat to be part of the show, I really appreciate it. And we gotta thank everyone who shows up in the morning here. People like B. Jackstraw, Waking Dead. We've got Toads, Christopher B. Erland, Ali, Sebastian, Platonic Liquid, Mark Silla, Yo Little, Ted, Chen Fred, Paul Rogg, William, Michelon, The King Eduardo. I think I got Toads, Mark Silla already. Mr. Deadhead always coming in there at the last second. Rainer, The King Ginger, Iris, Mamfaxo, Satan's Catfish, Yo Little Ted, and everybody who also just, what's the term? You're just listening in on the background, pumping up them numbers. I appreciate it because you guys are the show. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing up those coffees and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves and I will see you at the next cup.